Okay, the next task would be application deployment. You can think of this just as if it was SCCM. The only difference is, or the biggest difference is, you don't really need the endpoints to be connected to a VPN or directly to the network for this to work. As long as they are connected to the internet and don't have weird firewall policies, um, everything can go through. The computer has to have the client installed, and after that, everything goes through policies, software, even applications. And for this, we go to applications. In this environment, we mostly have Windows. So all the applications are Windows. There may be a couple for iOS, but they're not actually required. And in that case, for instance, we can check, this is the 2FA. We can check whatever is installed in the devices. We can check uh, the list of devices that have that. I'll probably have to blur that out. So blurring that out. And yeah, for instance, this one, I created this as an application, but it's actually a package of a font the company bought. So everybody has to have that particular font installed because they need that for official communication. And so I created a package with a script that just deploys to all the computers and then distributes the font to them. If we go back, we can add a software. In this case, I'm going to let me just make it a bit smaller here so it will be shown. We can use any of the operative systems allowed for this. Uh, we can deploy to Mac OS, we can deploy to Windows, iOS, uh, some Linux things. And in this case, we do have a few that are already created. So for instance, let's try with Edge. This is to deploy Edge. This has already been added to Microsoft Store, and this has already been added to Intune by Microsoft. So this is always up to date, as well as many other applications that are run through the App Store or through the store from Microsoft, from iOS. From here, we can change the package, we can change the name, we can uh, make it fit whatever is required for this particular environment. And then, as we did before, we can choose the scope. Again, you can get different scopes for different parts of the company. And the last thing is to add a group. You can add a group for all the devices. You can even exclude groups or uninstall from certain groups. And with that, the application's been created. This will start deploying to the devices in the groups that were added to the list, and it'll be done automatically. So if a new device is connected and that device is part of that group or the groups that require this application, it'll automatically receive the update. There's no need for anybody to do any manual update or manual installation. As long as as the computer is connected to Intune and all the policies are being downloaded, all the applications that are set for those groups are also being downloaded. And whatever tasks you need to do inside Intune or Azure for that matter can be done through a PowerShell script. That way we can have a repository of all the scripts and shells we need for the day-to-day operations. And the technicians that have to do the work, we don't get into the issue that they may break something because the scripts are proven. In this case, I've got a script to connect to Intune, but it probably won't work because my path, my environmental path, is now set to OneDrive. Let's see if it works. It'll try first installing this module. It takes a bit, and then it'll import the module. The problem is, since my path is OneDrive, it causes an issue. I have to change that back. But what happens if the path is correct is that it asks for you to log into Intune. It pops up a window and it asks you what account do you need to access if you have more than one, and then you have to go through the MFA, and after that you are good to run the proper script.